We were an early adopter of the to-the-door time framework of the productivity dashboard, and we had heard a lot about it from other groups that were already using it, from some of the beta testing we had seen. And it was almost one of those things where I kind of chided it, because I knew how efficient my team was, I knew how good my team was, and I knew that my numbers weren't going to reflect anywhere near the other numbers that these groups were seeing. So we adopted the program, we rolled it out, and my numbers were probably double in length what everyone else was doing. The already terrible times that other people were seeing in terms of seatbelt time, in terms of the amount of time the driver was waiting in the parking lot, in terms of the amount of time before the driver actually leaves the store, we were probably double what everyone else was, which was a horrifying thought, because one, it made me understand that maybe I don't have as much an understanding of the grasp of my own business as I thought I did. And again, this is a function of not having proper metrics. And the second thing that we saw there was there needed to be some improvement. And we focused hard on that for a long time. And in the beginning, I wasn't sure what numbers we could hope to achieve. I wasn't sure where the standards should be. I wasn't even sure how to manage this. This was completely new knowledge we were exposed to. So it took some trial and error. But I think what we were able to do is make logical sense to the delivery drivers. We couldn't do anything to change those numbers. It was entirely incumbent on those delivery drivers to once again modify their behavior to meet our expectations. And the argument we made kind of went like this. Whether we are busy or slow, our in-store employees are going to be making the same amount of money per hour. The only way that the delivery driver is able to maximize their compensation each day is to take as many deliveries as possible. The more deliveries they take, the more chances they receive for tips. So when we started to be able to explain to drivers how long they were actually sitting in the parking lot, and then quantify that and extrapolate that over time, this is how much time we're spending in a day, in a week, in a month, all of a sudden we saw these huge blocks of time, several hours, 10 hours, 15 hours, where no deliveries were being taken, the driver wasn't making any money, and they had an opportunity to. So the question was, what could you have done in this time? How many more deliveries could you have taken? And I think that really opened the eyes of a lot of our drivers. And it didn't take much. It took about 3 or 4 drivers to buy in. And when their deliveries started doubling each night versus the drivers that didn't care, that didn't buy in, and they started bringing home twice as much money, all of a sudden now everyone got it. And that's when everyone really started to prorate. So each store is different. Each store's got different geofences, different constraints. But I would say on average we're seeing about a 40% reduction since when we first rolled the system out into the amount of time that those delivery drivers are not as active in the process.